wrap her up like this, anoint her with oil, and hey presto, what do you have?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 documentaries to watch if you liked The Crown.
Fully conscious of the fact that she was queen and that she must tend to that affair immediately.
My whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and to the service of our great imperial family to which we all belong.
But she understood that there was a real life outside of palace walls, and she wanted us to see it from a very young age.
For this list, we'll be looking at documentaries that cover the real-life British royals and/or related topics. Have you seen these docs? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, Diana, The Royal Truth.
She began trusting me with more, telling me that her marriage wasn't all it should be. I need somebody like you, Paul.
2017 marked the 20th anniversary of Princess Diana's death, so a number of documentaries were released that year to commemorate the tragic date. This documentary, called Diana, The Royal Truth, was written, directed, and edited by Jordan Hill. It's a first-hand account featuring contributions from Paul Burrell, a longtime servant of the royal family and a butler to Diana herself.
I was the one that went out with my car, brought people back to Kensington Palace in the back seat of my car underneath a blanket, just to give the princess some love. All she was ever looking for was to be loved.
While he worked for her, Burrell acted as a confidant to the Princess of Wales. And in this film, he shares an intimate portrait of a woman who few people knew as well as he did.
So I picked up some earth and threw it into the hole. And that's where my life was.
Number 9, Diana, Our Mother, Her Life and Legacy.
So she was fun. Give us an example. All I can hear is her laugh in my head. And that sort of crazy laugh of where there was just pure happiness shown on her face.
Also released in 2017, Diana, Our Mother, Her Life and Legacy was commissioned by Princes William and Harry to commemorate their mother's life on the 20th anniversary of her death. They are both interviewed for the film, along with big names like Sir Elton John and Diana's brother, Charles Spencer.
She was always very caring of little people, and I suppose I was the first little person that she cared for.
It focuses largely on the philanthropic efforts of the Princess of Wales and the effects she had on the causes that were near and dear to her, as well as her sons themselves.
But she understood that there was a real life outside of palace walls, and she wanted us to see it from a very young age.
The two princes also commissioned another documentary in 2017, Diana, 7 Days, which focuses specifically on the aftermath of her death and her much-watched funeral proceedings.
It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, is that walk. I felt like she was almost walking along beside us to get us through it.
Number 8, Prince Philip, The Plot to Make a King.
That year, Prince Philip simply proposed to her. He didn't go to the king, first of all, to say, I'm going to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage. He actually checked it out with her.
Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, is one of the primary figures featured in The Crown's first 4 seasons as the husband of Queen Elizabeth II. Despite his role in the royal family, the public may still not know much about this enigmatic person. In this documentary, Prince Philip, The Plot to Make a King, which was released in 2015, we learn how Louis Mountbatten, Philip's uncle, angled to have him placed on the throne beside Elizabeth.
Lord Mountbatten wanted to strike the spark that day, and it worked. There's no question that 13-year-old Princess Elizabeth fell in love with the 18-year-old Adonis, Prince Philip.
Considering The Crown kicks off with the two getting married, this film provides some interesting context and background information.
Dickie Mountbatten saw Philip as a kind of quasi-king, wielding enormous influence. It was hitting the dynastic jackpot as far as Mountbatten was concerned.
Number 7, Wallis Simpson, The Secret Letters.
I'm sorry for myself, I'm sorry for the king. I hate stuffy British minds, and last but not least, I don't understand myself, which is the cause of all the misery.
The backdrop of the first season of The Crown includes King Edward VIII's abdication to marry divorcee Wallis Simpson.
And to discharge my duties as king, as I would wish to do without the help and support of the woman I love.
The two feature on the show, but this documentary dives deeper into their relationship and gives viewers insight into the much maligned figure of the woman who would become the Duchess of Windsor.
Wallis had got her man. But for her, the abdication was a disaster. She was facing a life sentence with Edward.
Originally broadcast on Britain's Channel 4 in 2011, Wallis Simpson: The Secret Letters uncovers correspondence that suggests that Simpson wasn't as enthusiastic about the marriage as history would make her seem, adding an extra layer of intrigue to an already juicy bit of the royal narrative.
But as her newly discovered letters show, it was not her future husband Edward she wanted to be with, but Ernest, the husband she was divorcing.
Number 6. The Queen Mother, A Royal Century. Queen Elizabeth II's mother, Elizabeth Angela Marguerite Bowes-Lyon, known generally as simply the Queen Mother, is an important figure in the royal family. But her story hasn't been told as often as those of her husband or daughters.
The loss of motherhood as daughters become adults. Loss of a routine, sense of purpose. The loss of a crown.
This documentary, The Queen Mother: A Royal Century, released before the royal figure's 100th birthday, covers her life spanning from World War II to the turn of the 21st century.
The Queen set an example to the people in every area of public life. Hitler regarded her as the most dangerous woman in Europe.
Contributors like royal expert David Starkey paint a picture of a woman whose contributions to Britain go largely unnoticed.
I think Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, is the original English steel magnolia. Perhaps we could translate it out of Southern States American. She's an English rose inside a steel spectacle case.
Number 5. Serving the Royals, Inside the Firm.
If you go to work for the royal family, you're going to work for the firm. The firm has strict rules, and anybody who breaks them, you're out.
Known colloquially as the Firm, the massive team serving the British royal family certainly has enough information to expose some of the monarchy's most private details. First airing on Canada's CBC TV in 2013, this documentary, known as Serving the Royals Inside the Firm, looks at the 1,200 employees who work behind the scenes to keep the royal machine running.
You learn body language, you learn moods. I knew what the Queen wanted before she asked for it. To serve to the best of your ability, you have to know what they want before they ask for it. It's a golden rule. Be there before they ask.
The movie was created by John Curtin, who had previously made 2 other documentaries about the royals. The filmmakers speak to cleaners, dog walkers, guards, and servants who have served the House of Windsor and maintain the family's most intimate secrets.
On one other occasion, when they really thought they could get rid of him, she called them in and she said, "Your jobs are negotiable, his is not."
Number 4. The Story of Diana.
It looked as though they were really in love, and that's what we wanted to see.
ABC and People magazine teamed up to create this 4-hour television documentary about Princess Diana, which aired in 2017. The Story of Diana features interviews with her brother Charles Spencer, along with members of the press both past and present, who provide insight into Diana's popularity and her treatment by the media.
As a parent, could I ask you to respect my children's space?
Some of Diana's friends are also interviewed, including Richard Branson, Lana Marks, and Wayne Sleep.
With Diana, I think it was a cry for help.
Despite being made by members of the media, it takes a critical look at Diana's troublesome relationship with the paparazzi and how it impacted her life.
You knew the next day the story was going to be about Charles and the adultery, but the picture on page 1 was going to be Diana, and it was.
Number 3. Being the Queen.
And then she straightened up. Fully conscious of the fact that she was queen and that she must tend to that affair immediately.
Queen Elizabeth II's story is at the center of all 4 seasons of The Crown, and this 2020 documentary dives deeper into the real-life trajectory of her long reign.
Everyone at the post office is delighted with the new profile, ma'am, which they feel to be an elegant reflection of Her Majesty's transition from young woman to...
Old bat.
Using archival footage from her decades of service, Being the Queen reveals new information that may be surprising to even the most avid royal family followers.
What parent wouldn't be anxious about a daughter who wants to marry the very first man she's fallen in love with?
Created by National Geographic, the film looks at Elizabeth and Philip's relationship, as well as many other aspects of her time on the throne. It was directed by Tom Jennings, who directed another documentary that's yet to come on this list.
It is a chance to show to the whole world the British nation united in grief and respect.
Number 2, The Royal House of Windsor.
The Windsor dynasty and the new model of popular monarchy had been tested in the fire of war twice and come through. It had been threatened by the rise of democracy and the danger of revolution.
If you're looking for a documentary that closely follows the timeline of the crown, this one is probably your best bet. The Royal House of Windsor, which was released in 2017, looks at the current royal family's time on the British throne.
My whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and to the service of our great imperial family, to which we all belong.
It starts around the beginning of World War II and spans the decades into the present day. It covers many of the events seen on the Crown's first 4 seasons, giving real-life footage and context for the drama that unfolded on the show. It's split into 6 episodes, so there's room to dive deep into every period discussed.
The first to kneel before her was her husband.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. The Majestic Life of Queen Elizabeth II, a look at the monarch's 60-year reign.
She wanted to join the Brownies, the Girl Guides. Yes, that was considered a good idea, so they formed a Girl Guide troupe inside Buckingham Palace, and a handful of nice, respectable girls formed the Girl Guide troupe.
The Royals, a series that follows some of the younger members of the royal family.
Eventually, William proposed in the most romantic way on a holiday in Kenya, taking out of his backpack the same ring Charles had given to Diana.
Margaret, the rebel princess, a look at the life of Elizabeth's wild child younger sister.
But she did things nobody else in the royal family had done.
She likes dressing up, flirtations, going to nightclubs until all hours.
It was outrageous. She was a little bit of a rebel.
Elizabeth at 90, a family tribute. Features rare home video footage.
Feeling you're never going to get out. It's such a good photograph, that one, isn't it?
He doesn't think that's funny at all. No, sand starts to move.
It's revolting, that.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Diana, in her own words.
Too many changeover of nannies. Very unstable. The whole thing. I just remember being generally unhappy and being very detached from everybody else.
Many fans of The Crown were eagerly awaiting the release of Season 4, which was set to finally show the relationship developing between Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer.
The prince and princess on their wedding day. But fairy tales usually end at this point with the simple phrase, "They lived happily ever after."
Those who want to hear Diana's story from her own perspective should be sure to watch Diana in her own words.
A voice said to me inside, "You won't be queen, but you'll have a tough row."
Co-directed by Tom Jennings and David Tillman, it largely features candid recordings that the princess secretly gave in 1991 that reveal details about the troubles in her marriage, her mental health struggles, and what she went through growing up.
Walking down the aisle, I spotted Camilla. Pale grey, veiled hat, pillbox hat, saw it all.
This primary source material gives insight into her personality like we've never had before.
Your kindness and affection has carried me through some of the most difficult periods. And always, your love and care has eased that journey.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.